Politicians are notorious for doing things they're not supposed to. This not only applies to national level leaders such as the president, but also to more local politicians. I believe that we're coming upon the anniversary of one of the greatest scandals, political scandals in American history. That being the political scandal of Megan Barry. For those of you who don't know, Megan Barry was a former mayor of Nashville who got caught up in a scandal having an extramarital affair with one of her bodyguards. And all of this was happening on overtime pay and tax-paying dollars. So taxpayers were paying for these two to have some recreational activities occur. Ranges on Barry's use of tax-paying dollars during this time was anywhere from $10,000 to $60,000. And Forrest, who was the guy she was having an extramarital affair with, is a little closer to $200,000 for time spent being paid. They were getting paid from taxpayer money. Mind you, they have government positions, so they're getting paid from taxpayer dollars to have recreational activities amongst each other. Not only is there a considerable amount of evidence, such as forced overtime pay actually increasing during the time of the extramarital affair, so not only were taxpayers paying him to have recreational activities with Megan Barry, they were paying him more than usual to have recreational activities with Megan Barry. And then obviously both of these people were charted down, logged as claiming overtime during this extramarital affair, and more specifically of their overtime, they were quite suspiciously taking trips together to the same location during the same time that this extramarital occurred. Mind you, these trips were all paid for using government money, aka taxpayers' dollars. Not only is there a lot of evidence, but also Megan Barry and Forrest also just blatantly admitted and pled guilty to this. Megan Barry was paid $11,000 back to the state of Tennessee, and Forrest paid back roughly about $45,000. Now, again, I am by no means a mathematician, but 200,000 minus like 50 or 60,000 is like $150,000 that is still left unanswered for. And guess whose money that is? It is the taxpayers' monies that did not go to the government, but went to Megan Barry and Robert Forrest for their recreational activities. So the government spent money, aka the government, when I say the government, that means taxpayers, spent money for Megan Barry and Robert Forrest to have recreational activities. And they never got refilled. So instead of this money going to public infrastructure or actually getting pit back into the community, it went to these recreational activities that Megan Barry and Robert Forrest were having, and the government never decided to make these two pay back or refill and pay back to the community. They just let them get away with it. And something that's actually very interesting, if you don't know who Glenn Funk is, he has a little bit of a Tennessee lore. He's kind of like the boogeyman in Tennessee. But anyways, Glenn Funk, there's a TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. They had this case open for like a couple of days, maybe a week or maybe 3 weeks. Anyways, Glenn Funk had the TBI pit immediately on the case. And then once they got a little bit of evidence, I mean, like, you can't get much, you get like the basics of it in 2 days. Anyways, Glenn Funk got the TBI to get the basics of it. They said that Megan Barry probably has like 10 to 60. These are estimates, ranges, as I said. And Glenn Funk shut it down. He shut down the investigation. He closed the investigation 2 days in, a week in. Now, if you don't know who Glenn Funk is, he fires people that run against him, and he fires people that he doesn't like. Again, ethical, not ethical. It's just not looked. He's not looked in a positive light in Tennessee lore. And he's a real boogeyman in Tennessee, let's just put it that way. So not only do you have this Megan Barry scandal where she's using taxpayers' dollars to perform recreational activities with her best pal over here, you also have Glenn Funk, who might or might not have been in on the scandal, trying to not get her caught too much deep trouble. So was she actually were her estimates on how much she was bringing in actually accurate, or would have been covered if the TBI would have continued their short investigation that was cut by Glenn Funk? Again, not really bringing Glenn Funk down, no defamation or anything here, but it's a little shady, just saying. The scandal on its own is already contending for one of the largest political scandals in United States history that was never fully reimbursed, mind you. But what adds icing to the cake is Megan Barry's educational experience. Megan Barry has a degree in children education, something like that, and she got her MBA from Vanderbilt. Then Megan Barry got some jobs. Would not guess where. Would not guess what. Ethics. Megan Barry was an ethics professor at multiple schools and colleges. I know for one was Belmont, and there was many others. But you're not really going to find this stuff online. It says that she's an ethics teacher, but I know that Megan Barry taught at Belmont University and that she taught ethics, because I got an inside scoop. I got some inside source. One of my, let's just say, relatives went to Belmont University and actually had Megan Barry as an ethics professor. Yes. I am taught by one of the best ethics. Technically, I am taught because my relative kind of raised me or whatever. Yeah, I'm taught by one of the best. Megan Barry taught me how to be a well-behaved citizen. Megan Barry is one of my ethics teachers. Theoretically, because she taught one of my relatives and they taught me, blah, blah, blah. But Megan Barry taught me ethics. Technically. Anyways, Megan Barry taught ethics, gave lectures on ethics. And then, so knowing that she's a big ethics lady, right? She goes behind people's backs, makes the taxpayers pay for her recreational activities, and then never fully reimburses them. That's the thing I want to say. The government made her pay this, and she could have come out and paid the full amount. I mean, Megan Barry is doing very well. Most politicians are. She could have come out and paid the full amount to cover all of the allegations, whatever the total amount, the highest amount of allegations was. She could have come out and personally paid it herself, like a ethical, upstanding person was. Something that an ethical teacher, something that somebody's familiar with ethics might do. She could have come out and paid that amount in full, but she didn't. So Megan Barry is a very well-respected, ethical, great woman. And I just wanted to bring some light on that. Quite ironic how she's an ethics teacher, and I think it is one of the greatest political scandals in United States history, and specifically in Tennessee history. This might be a little biased because I may or may not be from Tennessee. But, yeah, I wanted to bring some light on this anniversary of one of the largest political scandals in United States history. That's about it. Stay safe and stay hydrated.